Curlfriends. How's it going? It is about a minute. You come on early. So my connection says that I'm unstable. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. Let me know in the comment box side. It's showing that the connection was unstable. So I'm not quite sure. And I'm gonna type that as well too, because you never know. Also, I feel like it's okay. Like I don't see that box anymore. How are you? Love yourself. Hi, Zandra. What's up, Curlfriends? What is up? Excuse me. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Oh, awesome. You guys can hear me. Wicked. Pretty Brownie 1. Hi, all. Hey, girl. How's it going? How are you guys feeling? We are in what? Week 7 of coronavirus lockdown. It isn't even funny, but it's crazy. Like, y'all, I can't believe it's been 6 weeks. Like, I've been home since like March 15th, like literally March 15th. Hi, Kamira, cooking so I can't type, but I'm listening. Thank you, my love. Y'all, when I tell you that I've been having difficulties posting this, like, it dawned on me after I sat in on Naturally Zandra's live. And guys, go check her out. She's fantastic. She's amazing. She's got a YouTube channel right here on a channel right here on the YouTube Flex. But when she kind of went in on her story, it got me thinking that, like, I've been doing this Find Natural Hair Rocks thing since 2015 on Instagram, and really and truly since about like the beginning of 2020 here on YouTube. And so ever since then, I've been, saying what works for me, how I grew my fine hair out, how I continue to see growth all the time. And I've never really gotten into like the personal journey of it all. So I really appreciate you guys for like listening to me and connecting with me, even though I haven't really given the true backdrop of everything. And I probably won't save this live. This live isn't going to be saved. I'm going to definitely delete it right after because, yeah, like up till now, I'm kind of like, should I really say these things on camera? Should I have even posted that picture? Like, But let me see what's going on in the comments. Pretty Brownie 1, all is well, just wishing it would get warm outside, right? It's still kind of cold out here. It's nice, but it's kind of cold at the same time too. So I feel you. Hi, Patricia. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys, some really cool things have happened today before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this video. Number 1, I purchased a Revere. Yes, I caved. So I purchased a Revere. I shared the excitement with a couple of curl friends, as well as, people in my personal network. So everyone knows I'm all excited about doing these new, this Revere and like straightening my hair using like a stretch base to do some certain different styles. And so you guys have asked for more hairstyles, and I'm trying to really deliver on exactly what it is that you want, because there's really not that much information online about fine natural hair. And so I just want to be able to do my part to kind of fill in the gaps, because it's very difficult to learn how to deal with our hair, especially when there's such a lack of information out there. I mean, just kind of reading your comments, I respond to everything. So, those of us who have high porosity fine hair versus those of us who have low porosity fine hair versus those of us who are like right in the middle with like medium porosity fine hair. That's literally 1, 2, 3 entirely different regimens. And we haven't even started talking about people who might have high and low porosity hair, mixed strands. Maybe you've got high porosity up here, low porosity back here. It could vary, right? I see in the comments, PSR076, you did? Wow, we need a review. Yes, girl, I think I'm going to do a review. I think I'm going to do an unboxing. It's in the back there somewhere. I haven't unboxed it yet, so that's something that I think I want to share with you guys, because when I purchased it, I had you in mind. Part of the problem with fine natural hair is it tangles very easily, and you might be trying to do braids. This is a braid out right now that I've got that I just kind of threw into a low pony. But yeah, like, even that, like to install the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 braids, even that can cause a good deal of breakage, just because of the manipulation in your curls, and it's tangling on itself and it's knotting on itself, and it can be a really bad situation. So I'm hoping that the Revere will help with that. And I had such an awesome first time experience at the salon with my girl Sasha Pinnock of Curl Code. So yeah. Love yourself. Wow, cool, right, girl? It's extremely fun. I'm so excited. Zandra. So yeah, that's the first excitement. The second excitement. Why do I keep on losing connection over here? Oh, oh man. Okay, I apologize for the shot. I mean, I'm gonna as much like put this, but yeah. So I see Love Yourself says my hair hates braids. You know what? That's very common, Love Yourself. It really is very, very common for natural hair to like not like being manipulated. And you know, if we want to learn our hair, we want to learn our strands, we want to do so in a way where you know you're still being able to grow and maintain and have health and over length, really, because it's health over length, right? Not length over health. But at the same time, you also want to be able to experiment. So I'm hoping that the Revere will allow me to do that. Pretty Brownie One, do you think you would do more straight styles with having the Revere? Girl, you know what? I'm actually concerned about that. And I kind of shared that conversation with Xandra earlier today because I was like, it's so easy to get carried away. Like, you know, we all like, and that's going to kind of bleed into some of what I'm going to talk with you guys about very shortly. But, you know, when you have straight styles and you know you see your big afro and it's blown out and it's beauty and it's glory and it's just rising to attention, that is very easy very easy to get addicted to, right? And so the fear that I have, I know that the Revere is a device that actually works quite well to flat iron your hair. Not well, for fine hair it might as well be a flat iron because it's quite straight, but to straighten your hair, so to speak, and to do so without causing damage. So we're gonna see. I mean, the way I like to test out new products, devices, styles, anything really, any new technique with my fine natural hair, I like to make sure that I'm not losing a lot of breakage every week. So I know exactly how much hair I'm supposed to lose on a weekly basis. If that amount of hair rises over the course of the week, then I know that it has something to do with whatever it is that I changed. So I'm going to definitely keep an eye on that. And I'm going to report back to you because the Revere is a very, very deep investment. It definitely is. And so you guys have asked for it in terms of a review, so I will definitely give it to you. I'll do an unboxing, a first impressions, and then I'll, you know, as we go through different styles and see what works, what doesn't work on fine natural hair, then I can give you a more well-rounded review of exactly what it is and how it works and if it's even worth your coin. Because again, we have fine strands. Fine strands react so much differently than really, really like thicker strands, not coarse strands, because you can have fine coarse hair, but thicker strands. Let's see, Xandra, the live is messing up, girl. Is it still messing up? Oh man. PSR is okay, it's back now. Okay, good. PSR 076. It's okay to switch it up, but be consistent with your routine. Exactly. That is the key, to be consistent with your routine. So I'm over here stalling. We're like 8 minutes in, and I'm like stalling on the topic of this live, and it's so hard to like talk about this. But you know what? Let me get into it. So when I was a little girl, I was one of those little girls who really wanted long hair no matter what. Like I would legit wear like a what do you call it? They're like the towel. I don't know how many of you guys did that with a towel, imagining it was like long hair. I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood here in Canada, the suburbs I grew up in. And so all of my friends, they were all white, or I think I had one little other friend that was a black girl, but she was mixed. So she had like the type of curls that, number one, they grow quite easily. And number two, they grow very, very long. And so even way back, I can remember in like grade 2, I felt so inadequate, you guys. Like I felt ugly. I felt inadequate. I felt like she was more beautiful than me because she had like this long, flowing, gorgeous hair. Like literally, like looking back on it, that's a form of coveting. Like you should not covet anything for anybody. And there I was in grade 2 coveting this little girl's hair. And I felt that way about everybody. Like if she was a mixed little girl, that was the curls that I always wanted. And my hair just never, ever grew. My grandmother would do my hair. And like, I wasn't the girl with long hair as a child. Like, you know how so many of naturals have these conversations, or these stories rather, where they say that like my hair was long as a child. And, you know, I grew up and I permed it. And then after that, like I never got it back or whatever, right? That was never my story. Like I just never had long hair. Like this is actually the longest my hair has been in my entire life. And so it's really crazy that I'm even having this conversation with you guys right now because I didn't even think I was ready for it. Let's see. Love yourself. I messed my hair up. My hair was tailbone in elementary. See, girl, like I didn't have that story. I was the girl who like, and my mom, to her credit, she didn't understand how to deal with the hair type either. So up from like a baby right up until like 6 or 7, my hair would be like, we would use extensions, we would use blue grease. My mom would, play around with different styles because my mom's a fashionista, right? Like she loves different hairstyles. She loves hair just as much as I do. But my mom is also not somebody who's particularly well versed in like hair care, right? And so my hair suffered for that, right? So the longest I was ever able to get it was like number one, my hair was short. And number two, I had pieces that were long, pieces that were short, pieces that were completely broken off on the sides, like edges gone. Like what edges? What edges? Not edges, what edges? It was just a hot mess. And so that's kind of how I grew up. I grew up with feeling like, I needed weaves, I needed braids, I needed extensions, I needed something more to feel beautiful, which is horrible, right? And so fast forward to when I was 7, I begged my mom for a perm. So around grade 2, grade 3, I begged my mom for a perm. She didn't give me the perm willingly. She gave me the perm because it was something that I kept on annoying her about. And so one day I got this perm. Well, my hair was nice for like all of 2 seconds, and then it literally all fell out. So I wouldn't say I was an ugly child, but in the moment at that time, I felt ugly. I definitely felt ugly, and it did a number on my self-esteem. So after that experience, mind you, remember, my mom is not someone who has a very good experience. She's not well versed in hair care. So she's not someone who's combing the hair properly. She's not someone who's keeping up with the relaxer treatments. She's not someone who's deep conditioning. I mean, mind you, we never really had that information then anyways, but it was largely, and make it even worse, family members used to make fun of me about my hair. Like I would have, aunts saying like, oh, your hair is so messed up, or, cousins saying like, oh, your hair is like really, really picky. That's what we call it in the Caribbean, like picky, like your head is picky, like you have picky head, right? And like, I would always get that kind of like that negativity around my hair. So it was something that, I just did not feel good about. Like I loved curly hair. My mom would wear a lot of big, beautiful weaves, and she's not afraid of texture at all. Like literally, the bigger the better. But she would rock these beautiful styles, and I grew up seeing that as like a representation of beauty. So I'm gonna pause and jump into the chat. PSR 076, my parents didn't want my sister and I to get a perm. Neither did my mom at first. She didn't want me to get the perm, but at the same time, my real natural hair was not being taken care of properly. It was just being thrown into braids and then, take the braids out. And by braids, I mean extensions, and then put the braids back in. Take the braids out, put the braids back in. Like it was just such a terrible cycle. And there was no form of true hair care going on in the middle of these things. So again, I attribute that to the time frame. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, and so during the 90s, this information that we are so blessed and so lucky to have, this information wasn't as freely flowing at all. Like even when, I would ask my friend, the mixed girl in grade 2 and grade 3, like, what did you do to get your hair like that? There wasn't really any true answer, right? Like it was just like, I don't know, like my hair grows. Like what's wrong with your hair, right? So that really did a number. PSR 076, we got it in our 20s. Oh, you guys are late bloomers for real. Wow. That tells me something. That tells me that you and your sister are obedient and you guys listen, because I would literally just beat at the bush and just keep talking about it. It's that persistent lawyer in me. Just keep going on and on and on until I get my way. Like that's exactly how I did it when I was 7. Just never let it go until you like literally annoy them into obliging to whatever it is that I wanted at that time. Love yourself. I don't know why I got a perm. I guess because everyone was getting it. Yeah, I mean, when I got my perm, I knew why I wanted it. It was burning my hair at the time, and like it didn't matter to me. It's like I wanted it to be straight, and that was it. Like I didn't care if it was burning. I didn't care if it was peeling out my scalp. I didn't care about any of those things. Like like literally scabs. Like I remember scabs that were like, and I apologize, this is TMI if anybody's listening, but or trying to eat or whatever, I apologize. But like I remember getting like scabs that would ooze. Like I don't even know how hair is growing back in those places because it was that bad. Zandra, wow girl, that's messed up. It is, right? Pretty Brownie one, having good hair or bad hair. I started with Jerry curls. I grew up in the 80s. Yeah, and like even with the Jerry curls, like I remember my grandmother, she would have the Jerry curl, like as her, she would stay with the Jerry curl. And I mean, the thing about Jerry curls, at least your hair was moisturized. At least the Jerry curl had you in a state where you know your hair, your ends are doing well. You know, it's just forever moisturized. Like that's the whole point of the Jerry curl. Whereas with the perm, in a time when like, or the relaxer rather, in a time where there's really not that much information available, you're just literally left up to your own devices. And make it even worse, the beauty care industry, the relaxer industry, was something that was largely dominated by Asian people. So it's people who are non-Black telling Black people how to deal with their hair. And it's like the entire thing is just a vicious cycle. But of course, I didn't understand any of that at the time. I just wanted to have straight hair, right? PSR 076, yes, we listened. Haitian parents, LOL. Right? Yeah, yeah. That all makes sense now when you put it like that. Haitian parents don't play. So I'm 7. I get the relaxer. You know, my hair's breaking off. It still doesn't look good. I'm still reliant on extensions. I'm still reliant on braids. I'm still reliant on weaves. Everything except rocking my real hair. And this continued straight throughout high school. This continued straight throughout undergrad until, you know, one day in undergrad. And at this point, you know, by the time I really sat down when I got into undergrad, it would have been not first year because I was still, you know, trying to figure myself out after I had moved away from home. You know, I was living on res. I was around a lot more Black people. And, you know, they were definitely people who were trying to like be the best version of themselves. Like I always say, like a campus is ripe with opportunity, a university campus. And so in that moment, it was like a time to kind of find myself. And I went away to school. So I live in Toronto. I went away to school in Ottawa, which is like a 5-hour drive away. So literally I was left up to my own devices. At this point, you know, the city of Ottawa is even more or even less diverse than Toronto, but somehow, some way, the campus, Carleton University campus, was quite saturated in a lovely way with different cultures and different ethnicities and different people from all over. So that gave me the opportunity to really meet some really cool new people who seem to understand their hair. And at this point, we're like in the 2000s now. So it was like 2006, 2007, when like the natural hair care industry really online, these little communities. Shout out if you guys remember Folky, that's FOTKI. Shout outs if you guys remember, what was the other one? Long Hair Care Forum. There was another one. There was a couple of people who were doing their thing on YouTube as YouTube just started to like expand. I know KimmyTube is still in the game. Who else was there? African Export. Just, you know, the OGs of natural, of course, Natural 85, Whitney, she was there as well too. Kamira Jules, my hubby went to Carleton. Hey, Carleton. Yeah, I remember you telling me that, girl. I remember you telling me that. And that was one of the reasons how we bonded when we went out to eat. Kamira is right here in Toronto as well too. So we met in person, and she is just as lovely in person as she is online. So yeah, I remember you telling me that. Folky was my jam. Yes, so Folky comes out, and I'm in like second year undergrad at this point. Still with my hair picky. Scalp is eating out. You know, at this point I was rocking weaves. So I had tons of weaves, always wearing a weave, like literally. And at that point, it was like between high school and like undergrad, I would have the weave here. And then depending on where the leave out was, that's what would just break right off. So like this would be out to cover the tracks, or this would be out to cover the tracks. And so in that time frame, the whatever I had at the front, like this is nice and healthy now, but like at the time, this would have been like literally this short. And then over here, where I'm braiding it all the time, would be like nowhere near as long as this, like maybe like this long. So you'd have pieces that are like that short, and then you'd have pieces that are that long. And that kind of craziness would be like going on all throughout my head. Like it was just crazy. And I had zero zero self-esteem around my real hair. Like, you could not pay me enough money to go outside and show my real hair. It just was not happening. Even looking back at pictures, the picture that I showed you guys, that picture was a pre-big chop picture, just when I decided to change and, really take my health seriously and take the health of my hair seriously, because it was starting to do a number. And, it kind of brings me back to, like, sometimes just times when I tell people about Find Natural Hair Rocks, they're like, oh, well, it's just hair, right? And the thing is it's not just hair. Like, for me, it was never just hair. Like, if you're a 7-year-old or even 6-year-old, or you're a child and you're coveting somebody else's hair because you don't see these representations of beauty, or you feel ugly in your own skin, or you feel like you have to have this covering on your head, like, that's a self-esteem issue. It's a self-confidence issue. It's debilitating. You don't feel good. You can cut certain opportunities. Because I remember there'd be times where certain things would be happening. This is first year university, so this is still before I did my big chop. And, certain events would be happening, or like certain, networking or hangouts, whatever. And if I didn't have a good hairstyle, girl, I know I wasn't going anywhere. Like, your hair cannot be hidden. I mean, even if you gain a little bit of weight, like, there are ways to camouflage it, right? Like, if you gain a little bit of weight, you could wear black, and then boom, like, you look a little bit more svelte. It could kind of be hidden, whatever. But, when your hair is, like, not looking right, there is absolutely nothing to change that. Even a head wrap in certain, in certain places, like, that is just not appropriate. Like, for example, like, you can't show up to, I don't know, an indoor convocation event with like a cap on. Like, there are just certain things like you just wouldn't do, or like a wedding with like a cap on or something. Like, you just wouldn't do it, right? Like, I just felt like my hair situation was taking over my life. Like, from the time when I started to really become more self-aware of these things, which is like around 14 and up, so between 14 to like 21-ish, if my hair didn't look right, I wasn't going anywhere. And like, the first question for anything, like travel, a big event, a party, whatever, the first question would always be, what are you going to do with your hair? And it was such a drag, like, to know that I had to always spend money. I don't even know how much money I spent on wigs, weaves, braids, hair appointments. Like, I don't even want to know how much money was spent on that. Products that don't work, having conversation with friends who seem to have it figured out, but they didn't really have it figured out. So they didn't really have the right answers that I was looking for. Like, Curlfriend, it was just a hot mess. It was a hot mess. I'm going into the chat. So let me scroll up here. Love yourself. Exactly. The constant heat damage from leave out. I remember those days. Yes, girl, wherever the leave out was. So there were two villains. If your leave out was here, that was going to be short and broken off. If your, wherever the tracks were sewn on, back here, that was going to be short and broken off. And then even here, like, if you had braids, these were going to be picked out, and like your edges would be dying. Like, literally anything to make this style work, to continue to hide what was going on underneath, it would just result in more breakage. Like, it was just a vicious cycle. And to make it even worse, I felt like I was a slave to this thing. Like, and the thing is that society would reinforce that. So like, if I were to try to, for whatever reason, end up at the convenience store, and a cute guy, and this is, being a teenager now, a cute guy would pass by, he wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't care. He wouldn't look. He wouldn't be attracted, whatever, right? As soon as I put on that long swaying weave, as soon as I have that fresh braid out, all of a sudden, guess who's trying to holla? Guess who's trying to get a phone number? Right? So all of these things, they had the effect when I was a teenager of solidifying that negativity and really continuing the cycle over and over and over again. Kamira Jules, I grew up in the 80s too, and I had jerry curls. I actually showed the pic on one of my live streams. Oh, I was on your live stream. Kamira, I need to go look for that. You need to show me that. I want to see you with your jerry curl. Although I feel like it's going to look absolutely gorgeous, because this girl can pull off any style, like literally any style. Zandra Mycel died. Oh, welcome back, Zandra. PSR 076, it's an extension of yourself. Your hair really is an extension of yourself. And as Black women, and one of the reasons why I decided to create Fine Natural Hair Rocks or take it seriously, I'll get to that. But, one of the reasons why I decided to start taking Fine Natural Hair Rocks seriously, because initially it was just my space on Instagram for me to take pictures of when my hair looked good. And it was a closed account. I had no followers. I had no intention of following anybody. And it turned into something more when I realized that there were other people who were suffering in the same way that I was suffering. And that, I realized that it would be selfish of me to sit down on this information that has literally taken me like a decade plus to learn. 100% is an extension. Pretty Brownie 1, our self-confidence is tied to our hair, and how we are seen by others is tied to our hair. Yes. And oh man, my connection is unstable again. Why? Babes, my connection keeps on like cutting out, eh? I don't know if you guys are able to see. I'm so sorry. Like on my side, I can see that the connection cut out again. I don't know why that's happening because literally the modem is like right there. So Rogers, we're going to have a conversation. We are so going to have a conversation because the way I see it, and give me this one quick second to break away from the topic before I come back. But, if my internet connection is wonky and is disrupted, then payment should be wonky and disrupted too. Like, how many of you guys feel that way? Like inconsistent internet, inconsistent payments. To me, it makes sense. It's logic, no? But anyways, I digress. So yes, our self-confidence is definitely tied to our hair. Tammy Moore, welcome. Welcome, Tammy. Welcome to the Curlfriend crew. To me, everybody that says it's just hair has long, thick, luscious hair, and it drives me crazy. Exactly. People who try to say things that diminish the struggling. It's a struggle. Like if you don't feel good about any part of yourself, it doesn't have to be hair. It could be your hair, it could be your complexion, it could be your features, it could be your height, it could be whatever. If you don't feel good about yourself, I don't think anyone has the right to tell you that you shouldn't be feeling that way, especially when we live in a society that has one standard of beauty, a standard of beauty that we all know does not include Blackness. So yes, I'm with you, Tammy. Like, drives me crazy as well too, which is why I'm so dedicated to making sure that like Fine Natural Hair Rocks is inclusive of those who have been forgotten. Like there is no curl pattern that's falling through the cracks here. So, okay, so that is awesome. Come here. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. I love that. Come here, Jules. Jerry Curls is in the title. It's my live stream playlist. I'm going to check that out. I've got to check you out, girl. Love yourself. You grow up and realize we can't conform to what society and media feels is right. Exactly. And even when the natural hair train really took off, the kinds of curls that were represented, the women who were carrying those curls that are represented to this day, those curls, those women, they still don't necessarily represent, inclusivity in the sense of like somebody who has fine hair. Like even right now, like I did a braid out, you guys, on a freshly washed hair. And I'll show you right now, like this is not what a braid out on freshly washed hair would generally look like. This is fine. It's fine strands. And, we don't really see things like that very often in mainstream media, which is why the internet is so fantastic to kind of give us that platform for us to share these things with each other. Zandra, I hate my internet provider. Yes, I hate my internet provider too. Rogers drives me crazy. They really do. I feel I should get a refund from the last 3 years, right? You know what? The stickler inside of me feels like starting to document every time the internet is breaking out and then to do a percentage of the time that I have no access and be like, that's the percentage that you owe me in a refund. Because that's whack. Like, that's so whack. Tammy Moore, I follow you on Instagram too. Thank you for representing for us with fine, low density hair. Tammy, thank you for being so sweet to join from Instagram and to come over to YouTube. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for your follow. Thank you for your support. And, thank you for being here as a part of the Curlfriend crew. And that goes to all of you guys. Like, there are so many other places where you might be, putting your attention right now. And the fact that you're here with me, in this safe space for our curls, that means a lot to me. I do not take that lightly. natural Xandra, fine hair is never really talked about in the masses. It's not. It really isn't. And of course, we talk about fine straight hair. Like even doing my research on YouTube, there's tons of information about fine Caucasian hair. Very, very, very little. The same people come up all the time, which is fantastic. We're growing. Xandra is one of them. But the same people come up all the time about fine natural hair, and on top of it, it's not really consistent information all the time, which is another loophole that hopefully we together can kind of stop the gap, right? Kamira Jules, it's so discouraging when you first went natural. It is very discouraging to not have the information readily available, especially when you come to the table with trauma, because like when I talk about what happened in my childhood, when I talk about family members making fun of my hair, guys making fun of my hair, friends making fun of my hair, like everybody was making fun of my hair, like it would be a-okay for like a boyfriend who should care for you. I'm not gonna call it love because like puppy love, whatever, right? But a boyfriend who should care for you making fun of you that you are literally attached to your weaves, like that's a problem, right? That's such a problem. Love yourself. I love that you do fine hair topics. Thank you, girl. That is my passion. I love to talk about fine hair because it was a struggle. It was challenging. It's still challenging. And the more we talk about it together is the more that we grow, right? Xandra, I wasn't really trying to find content on fine natural hair at first. I just wanted to learn the basics. I just embraced my hair for what it is, girl. Yeah, and you know what? And that's the reason why, like, but I can imagine how frustrating it is when everyone has thicker hair than us. Exactly. And, returning back to undergrad now, right? During undergrad in second year. So second year, actually no, it was third year. So I went through first year of undergrad hating my hair, second year of undergrad, first year of undergrad, I gained the freshman 30, right? Not freshman 15. Oh no, freshman 30. And that's very much because I just loved to eat. And we had an abundance of food, you guys. Like there was a cafeteria. The cafeteria had different stations. There was nonstop pizza, nonstop teriyaki, nonstop dessert bar. Like you name it, they got it, right? And then on top of all of that, which is like I think 12 meals per week at an all-you-can-eat buffet. On top of that, they then had like late night eats. So there would be like late night pizza, late night burgers and fries, late night what do you call it there? What was it? Like a late night ramen noodle spot. Like, and these places were open till like 2 a.m. Like pizza at 2 a.m. Right? Like, and me being like the A-type personality that I am, studying all hours of the night, like it was common practice to like study till like maybe 11, 12 o'clock at night, midnight, and then go and grab a pizza at what we would call the Oasis. Go grab a pizza, a little personal pan pizza, take it back upstairs, and then study some more. And then on top of that, there was also like a certain amount of like campus cash that was used at places around campus, like A&W. They had a Subway. They had a bunch of stuff, right? And so for first year, like all of this being new to me, like I definitely went in and I gained freshman 30. So second year, again, still hating my hair, going to parties. I mean, the good part about it is I wore a lot of different styles. So I went from like blonde weaves to, I think I had one very brief stint with a red weave. I mean, red as hair doesn't really work well on me, but browns and blondes, those kinds of colors was common. Big curls, always big hair, always big curls. Like that was my thing. Like I was never really big into like straight hair. And six, so styles, feel good about myself, whatever, until it was time to take down the weave, right? And again, living, and who cares what my hair looks like, right? With family, that wasn't happening at Carleton because everything is a big show, a big hoopla. Like we would go to the Bad Connection, man. Did it come back yet, you guys? Oh my goodness, this thing is so terrible tonight. I'm gonna continue and hopefully it will clear itself out. But yeah, so I would continue going to the calf and people would be wearing really nice outfits. Like, we're young, right? Like you're 20, 21, like, you're still trying to find a boyfriend. I know I was, right? Trying to find a boyfriend, trying to look cute, trying to flirt, trying to do your thing, like all that stuff in undergrad, right? So it was a real problem when my hair wasn't looking good. Make it even worse, I was living in Ottawa, a city that is predominantly white, as a student, minimal money. So there's like no money to get somebody to do my hair. Even if I wanted to get my no, there was just no one to get it done with. And so I struggled with that for a really long time. And then at some point in second year, I went on what do you call it there? Is it working better right now? Let me see. I feel like really awful with like continuing the conversation if it's not working. You are buffing. Yes, it's buffering. So I see a couple of you guys are saying it's buffering. That is so strange. I don't understand. Like, yeah. So second year now, my friend, a very good friend of mine, we decided to go exercise. And at that point, you know, eating poorly, first year getting accustomed to like, you know, the undergrad life, like my grades were not as good as they could be. Things started to slip. Like I was partying a little bit too much, not drinking. Like drinking wasn't really my thing. It was really just the partying aspect that I really, there was a party on Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like literally like back to back partying, right? And so second year came and we decided to take our studies serious because I was like, oh snap, like I was like, law school applications are coming up in like 3 to have good grades. And so I decided to start working out. I lost a lot of, I think almost 30 to 40 pounds and was the slimmest. It had a spiraling positive effect. So like the weight loss came, the, hi guys, yes, I have a bad connection also. Same on another live I was on the other day. I don't know what's going on. It might be because everyone's going, hi Gail, I don't think we've ever been Tolly, but thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you. But yeah, so, you know, there was a lot of, where was I? Oh, the partying. Yeah, so second year, you know, we still party. Who am I kidding? We still partied. Like that never ended. Like second year, third year, fourth year, like I just found a way to be more effective and studying. So and like not partying, but it had a good spiraling effect in other areas of my life. And my grades improved. An area of Lavinia that caused a problem. Oh man, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to connect. I wonder, I just had to refresh the page. I wonder if I should just like restart the stream. For my YouTubers in here, my fellow YouTubers, my curl friends, Zandra, have you ever had this problem? And Kamira, and if you guys had this problem, what did you do? Should I just restart completely, or should I continue to try to power through this? What do you guys think? I'm gonna rely on your expertise here because I honestly don't know what to do. Gail, Tolly, I'm the one Kamira had me join you. My hair is steel wool. Gail, your hair is gorgeous. And, you know, if your hair feels hard, it's probably because you might have some protein overload or something else is wonky in your hair care, regimen, but we can figure that out. And I definitely encourage you to DM me or email me. And that goes for anybody really. Email or DM on Instagram, Find Natural Hair Rocks. Or you can email me at finenaturalhair@gmail.com. And I'll put that in the, what do you call it there? In the chat box for whoever wants to see. And you can also DM Naturally Xandra as well too. She's got a pretty good hold on moisture balance and protein and all that stuff. So yeah, about to eat, still listening. No problem. Oh, continue. Okay, so Xandra and Jules and Kamira Jules both say to continue. So yeah, so you know, hair's still not looking right. But the body got smaller, partying got more effective. Started to learn how to party and get good grades. It was great, right? So then third year rolls around now. And I mean, also I was a res fellow. So we call them a res fellow where someone is like the don of the floor and like everybody has to like basically listen to the don so the don can give out like infractions for like res issues and stuff like that. It was a sweet deal, y'all. Like I got free res and free board for like a good 2-3 years out of my my undergraduate journey, which helped a lot in terms of like student loans and stuff like that. But Gail, stay on. I was kicked off another live, but went back later. Yeah, Zandra, have a really good meal. What are you eating? Let us know. I'm getting hungry over here. Our combined expertise will help you out, girl. Absolutely. There's so much help here, Gail, in this Curlfriend crew, this little community of ours. Like, there's tons of help. Sounds good, girl. I'll keep my eye out for you. I started to, this is like 2007. So now, the natural hair community is really starting to like warm up. And, different websites are coming out. Like I told you earlier, the folk keys of this world, the, what do you call it there of this world? Like the long hair care forum, books started to be made. Like there was the Science of Black Hair. There was another book. I forgot what the name of, I think Relax to Natural or something like that by Kathy House. Like people started to really start talking about these stuff. And like, I was like a kid in Candyland with it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I literally just soaked it all up, right? Like everything I could get my hands on. If I wasn't studying or I wasn't partying or I wasn't exercising, I was focusing on this natural hair care journey. So speed up to, fourth year undergrad. And I met one of my really good friends. Shout outs to Nikita if you're here. And her hair was gorgeous. Like her hair was so pretty. And like looking back on it right now, what her hair type is, I would define that as like she's got thicker curls, or thicker strands rather. And in terms of typing, I would say Nikita is like a type 3B to 3C. Yeah, she's definitely in the 3 club, but her hair was stunning up to this point. And she's a Black girl. Like up to this point, I had never, ever met anybody who had such healthy, beautiful hair and, was so close to me, who would like give me the information and really care about me and care about my hair in the way that I cared about me. I cared about my hair. And, she really poured into me in terms of her knowledge. I mean, at the time, she also had a more sturdier hair type, and now I understand it. So she could get away with like flat ironing her hair like every other day. Whereas if I would flat iron my little leave out, it would just stay like a little leave out, right? It would be like fried and crispy. And you guys kind of saw the picture of what that would look like on this thumbnail. That's exactly how it looked. It looked terrible, right? And so she would always wear her hair in this really cute style. Like she would flat iron it. First she would blow it out, then she would flat iron it, then she would wear like a bang, and then she would have the top in kind of like a little baggy updo. And I have a picture on my Instagram with the same style actually, because I told her, I was like, one day I'm gonna rock my hair like this, and I did. I finally got there. But so she gave me that encouragement. She was the one, we would have so many long conversations about this, and she'd be like, you seem to come from a background where like weaves were really normal, extensions were really normal. No one really wears their real hair except for my grandma, right, who had the jerry curl. And her, it was the complete flip opposite. Like no one in her family ever wore weaves. No one wore extensions. No one wore anything extra, right? And so for her, she was like, yeah, like my little brother, like he has a girlfriend and she has weave, and he was confused. That's how serious it was for them. And so coupled with the information that I was collecting in 2007, and then, now I have somebody who I know, I was like, oh, let me just cut my hair off. So one day after, reading, taking pictures of my fine hair, considering like the transitioning, although my hair was so jacked, there was nothing to transition with. like there's nothing to keep. Like it was like, well, you guys saw the picture. The picture tells it all. Like, there was nothing to keep. And so there was nothing to transition. And so what I ended up doing was I grew it out a little. So at first I told her, I'm like, Bregin, and we call each other Bregin. I was like, Bregin, just cut it off, right? And she was like, no, I'm not going to cut it off. Like, I can't have you walking around campus like this. Like, like we're not doing that, whatever. So she managed to talk me out of it. I didn't end up just big chopping, but at some point I continued to grow. And I started doing like little, what do you call it? They're micro braids, which is horrible for fine natural hair. But they were little micro braids. And so, and I would get them done by a cousin of mine, and they would literally like peel out the edges. Like, you guys, it's amazing that I have edges right now. It's absolutely amazing because they were just so tiny, so tiny. But somehow that managed to grow out my curls. The back places that were never really full started to come in with a texture that I didn't know what to do with. And so at some point, I was tired of dealing with the two different textures, and I was like, Bregin, just cut it. So she cut it for me, and then immediately I started wearing wigs, right? Or no, I went back to the weave for a little bit and I tried to like blend it, but everything I was reading online was talking about like not using heat on your hair. Around the same time, I discovered another natural hair network called Hairlista. Shout outs to Sunshine. Hairlista up until 2000 and like from 2009-ish until they closed down in like 2014, 2015. And recently, like literally like a week ago, I had posted something on my Instagram. It was like a pitch. It was like a small clip from my wedding, and I had overlaid it with Beyonce's new track with Megan Thee Stallion. You know that Savage remix? I had overlaid it with that, and she found it, and she's like, "Girl, is that like a Maggie Sotero dress?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, how do you know that? And she's like, "Cause I had the same dress at my wedding." And then like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, Sunshine, Hairlicious, Sunshine, Hairlicious. I'm like, wait a second. That's Sunshine Hairlicious from hairlista.com. But again, I digress, right? So yeah, we recently connected outside of Hairlista, but Hairlista was really cool. Like it was like a Facebook for natural hair. So people would post up their regimen, people would post up their hair care, they would take like length check pictures, they would literally do all these different things to show off their hair care journey, and they would like lay out their regimen. So they'd be like, for shampoo I did this, for conditioner I did this, big chop on such and such date, you know, this is my goal to hit mid back length by blah blah blah. Like they would go in such detail about this information, and it was all available just like Facebook. You know, it was all available per profile, and you could engage with these profiles. There were challenges. It was great. And so that's when I really started to gain even more information about this. So for a really long time, between like 2000, I would say my true big chop date. And I have a book that I keep the information in, but my true big chop date was like 2000, November 2018, 2008. So we're now in 2020. That's like almost a 12-year, a 12-year journey. And interestingly, when I told my friend to cut my hair off, the whole point was that I wanted her to big chop me so that I could go natural temporarily and then perm it again. I mean, needless to say, I never ever ended up perming again. But yeah, like the intention was never to keep my curls. It was always to re-perm. So you guys smash up the like button if you're enjoying this story time here, this journey. The likes really help my channel. It tells YouTube that people think the content is good. And then the Curlfriend crew grows and more people can get this information. So thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But so yeah, so then after that, you know, the Hairlista thing is going, trying out these different styles. I stopped weaving and I fell into braiding. But because I have fine hair, the braiding actually ended up causing more damage than the weaves, right? Or about the same. So like I would braid it up until like when it was short, it was fine. But as the hair started to grow out, and it would take more and more manipulation to get it to go into those strands, and more manipulation to get it out of the strands, it literally just caused even more damage than it was protecting, which is one of the reasons why I always tell people that, you know, don't rely on things like micro braids or micro twists or anything like that. So between 2009, so I'm just gonna take a quick water break, you guys. Between 2009 and I want to say like, yeah, law school, actually right throughout law school. So 2000 and I graduated from law school in 2012. So yeah, 2009, 10, 11, 12, just straight, I really started to fall into wigs more, especially in law school. I started to fall into wigs a lot more. Jazzy, I liked when I came in. Thank you. Love yourself. Okay, so let me go on back up. Pretty Brownie One, the things we do to our hair when we think we are helping our strands. I know. So I would go on YouTube and I would look for people and get information from people like KimmyTube. KimmyTube's information wasn't that bad actually, because I think KimmyTube has fine hair as well too. But I think she's more medium stranded. I don't know. But like the way she was wearing her hair, at that point in my life, I wasn't comfortable with natural styles. I still wanted to have that wavy look. I still wanted to have that soft look, that that look that wasn't really a true natural look. And so the styles that she was talking about, which would be like twists and updos and braid outs and stuff like that. Like, number one, my hair wasn't long enough for me to feel comfortable like that. And number two, I just, yeah, I guess there's no number two. I just didn't feel comfortable like that, which is awful to admit here on camera. Probably will hair journey video. I'm losing connection again. I will make another natural hair care video for you guys, something a little bit more put together. Do you guys want pictures? Because I've got a ton of pictures that I've just never released to the public, but I'm willing to release it to you guys to be completely transparent. So yes, pretty brownie one, European looking hair. That's exactly what I wanted. But yeah, I'm happy to make that video about my fine natural hair journey, complete with pictures if that's what you guys would like to see. But so yeah, so wigs, a lot of wigs. I met my now husband and didn't really show him my real hair either. I just lived in those wigs. And so, as I started to get a little bit more comfortable, started realizing that the things I thought were good for my hair were not good for my hair. That's when, things really started to change. Then, fast forward to more recently, so like the last 2-3 years of my life, love yourself. Yes, pictures would be cool. Nora Ray. Hi, Nora. Yes, would like to see some pictures. Okay, so I will definitely do another video of this. Something a little bit more clean. This one's more of a chit chat. Pretty brownie one. This is a great live. So much have had somewhat same experience. Yes, exactly. So many people have been in these shoes, and that's why I thought it was so important to like have this conversation so that you guys know exactly. Excuse me. Wow. So you guys know exactly where I'm coming from when I talk about, the natural hair and like why I'm so passionate about this stuff and why I'm so connected to this. Naturally, Xandra, nothing micro. Yeah, nothing micro. So, I had a couple people who would like, they would, the micro braids was an issue. Then I did micro twists at one point and lost a ton of hair. I got a big chop that wasn't supposed to be a big chop. It was supposed to be a trim. And then at that point, I started to fear the trim and went through like a good 5 or 6 years of my journey where I wasn't trimming at all. I didn't understand my hair porosity, which led to like protein overload. So I always knew that you should have been deep conditioning your hair. But in my mind, in trying to think this through in a logical way, I was like, okay, well, if my hair's breaking, I need to make it stronger. The only way to make it stronger is to put on some protein. And so I would do like an AphoG treatment, which is way too strong for fine strands, like just way too strong. Like if you're doing a protein treatment, the most you should be doing is like literally a protein deep conditioner, and that's it. Like you do not need to be doing such a heavy protein treatment. Like something like AphoG is literally only for it's only for what's it called? For like relaxed hair. Like natural hair does not need AphoG. Maybe if you're high porosity, but even then, like it's just too strong. Okay, so naturally, Xandra. Hey, Laya. Hi, Laya. Welcome to the Curlfriend crew. Thank you so much for logging on and joining us tonight. I really, really appreciate you. Gail, are you going to be live as long as Kamira? I don't think I'm going to be live as long as Kamira because I do work from home and we do have very early, very long meetings. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. But thank you for chilling with me for 54 minutes. It's been a long time. People are laughing in the people are laughing in the thing. Naturally, Xandra, AphoG is strong. Yeah, it is. Of yourself, most beautician trims or full cuts. Yeah, I mean, my hair really did not need that much of a cut, but this woman went in. Like I was at like, at this point I was like maybe neck length, and she cut. No, I was shoulder length. And this woman cut me down to like above my ears. And I was so hurt, so pissed. Just everything negative in the sun. Like, I should have known better. So, brief interlude. If your stylist has hair that you don't necessarily want to have, don't let that stylist in your hair. Like, just don't. Like, don't let her touch your hair. Like, I know that sounds negative and I don't want to be negative, but it's a lesson that I had to learn in a really hard way. Like, I consistently would lose length. I consistently would get bad advice. I consistently would get bad hair treatment. And it would always be by someone whose hair I did not want my hair to look like. So, yeah, especially with fine hair, be your hair's advocate. Because I suffered so much by being a really bad advocate. Because something about me, I always like to be that that people pleaser, especially when I'm sitting in a chair, and I think a lot of us can resonate with this. Like you don't want to be the person who's causing problems, right? You just want to sit there, maybe enjoy, maybe chill, and that's it while you get your hair done. And so when they're up there doing things that are like crazy, it to my hair, you know what I mean? But that's exactly what you have to do, or else you're gonna come out bald, right? Um, let's see. Ooh, the comments are going strong. Okay, let me catch up to you guys. Pretty Brownie, I stopped doing extensions on my hairline, started to leave my scalp, and saw my braiders lack of a hairline too. Yeah, girl, like that's a strong indication. Like all those people who were doing my hair, they fine hair. Like if I would go get my hair relaxed, it would process extra quickly and it would get really, really straight, really, really fast, and it would burn really fast too because it's fine. Like there's not much to relax. Like there's not much to penetrate. It's missing an entire layer, but whatever, right? So yeah, exactly. Like hairstyling, that negative treatment, the rough combing, like you're fighting brittle pad, like those are not the things that are gonna help find natural hair thrive, right? Love you, Kamira. Naturally Xandra or a reconstructor could be good, but I'll report back on that. Yes, keep us posted on that. PSR 07, big facts 100. PSR 076. Some stylists are scissor happy. They are scissor happy. They really, really, truly are scissors happy. And I don't know if it's because they just enjoy cutting people's hair off and pissing people off, or if it's because like they want to keep you coming back. Like I don't know what it is, but it's really hard to find a stylist who understands you. And when you do, keep going. Laya Shanta, you are speaking the truth. Girl, like I'm only here to help because you guys need to know why I'm doing this and why it's so authentic and genuine to me to put this information out, because like I've been in some of your shoes before where I've been hitting that rock and not understanding why, and following the information that's alive everywhere and not understanding why it's not working for me. But like now, looking back, if I could tell myself then what I know now, I definitely would have been wasteland and beyond by now, for sure. There's no reason. When I started Curlfriend crew, like I was literally like, I didn't know the difference between a conditioner and a moisturizer. That's how bad it was. I had no clue what the difference was between a conditioner and a moisturizer. Like sink in, like that's crazy, right? And so there are so many people lay judgment. If that's you, I'm not trying to lay judgment. It just goes to show that the information is just really not available. Wow, my heart just stopped. Yeah, girl, like this is like a collective experience here. Like we're healing tonight. Naturally Xandra, the stylist I went to last time made my hair so uneven. That's so like the more we learn about our hair is the more we can empower ourselves to like not make those mistakes and to really be able to just do our own thing. So like even with this quarantining corona, I have some friends who are still relaxed, not hating on relaxers. Like if that's you and it works for you, that's fine. But they're still relaxed and they don't know how to do with their hair, and like they're literally in a stage where it's like, oh my gosh, like I need to go to the stylist, I need to go to the stylist. And like as a natural, like I don't have that issue because we've taken the time to learn our hair, we've taken the time to understand it, and now like so many naturals are at home salon or hairstylists for themselves that you can kind of make it work, right? And not really too many terrible things are going to happen. Nora Ray, if your stylist's hair looks a mess, run. Yeah, run real fast. Like that person can't keep their hair looking good. So what makes me think they can keep my hair looking good? Like, Naturally Xandra, and not only that, she didn't even detangle my hair in sections. Oh my lord. Like that is like natural hair 101. Section the hair before you detangle it, and definitely never comb the hair from roots to ends. Like that's just madness. Xandra, I will share my journey as well sometime soon on live, girl. You giving me the confidence boost to do that. No, you need to learn your hair. That's what I would say to my friend. Yeah, honestly, we need to share these stories more often, and I support you 100%, Xandra, in doing this, because this information has to be out there so that people can realize that, similar to when the natural hair community started to gain steam and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm natural, I'm gonna go natural. I feel like we're in a second wave of it, so to speak, and people are starting to realize that there are variations between being natural. So the common understanding of how to deal with natural hair doesn't apply to fine natural hair. It's just too different. There's no way it can't apply, right? And so it's a really good time, like Love Yourself says, to focus on your hair and, you know, use the lockdown to really learn. So, you know, after all that struggling with the wigs really, during that time frame, I was still doing, like I said, those Afro G treatments. I had like a big bottle that was like this thick and this big, and then on top of that big bottle, I also had something called oh, what was that? Infusium 23. How many of you guys remember Infusium 23? And that was another protein treatment that I was putting on top of my hair. And all this protein, and wondering why my low porosity fine hair was breaking off like literally every single time. Like, for those of you who've been following Fine Natural Hair Rocks for maybe a little bit, there was a time a couple years ago where I posted something where I was like, literally all I did was touch it and it broke off. Like, it was that damaged, right? So I started doing my research again. This is 2-3 years ago, and I came across a couple of different fine naturals who really have fantastic information. And not, let's see. So Gail Talley, what? Don't comb from roots to end? I just learned something. Yes, never ever comb your hair from roots to end, because all of this is very fragile, and there's so many kinks. Like right now, it's not as kinky because it's been braided out, it's been stretched, but at each point along these strands is an opportunity for breakage. The curlier your hair, each of those curls has a breakage point, a fragile point that can break off. So if you start combing from here down, you're going through all of that and having an opportunity to break at every single coil. So what you want to do is you want to start down here. Oh, this white thing is helping me. You want to start down here and you want to comb your way on up. Takes a lot longer, but saves a lot more hair. So yeah. Let's see. I've been seeing people do more self-care lately in reassessment, says Naturally Xandra. Yes, it's a fantastic time to like learn yourself and to really move into like, you know, what makes you you. Kamira, I used Infusium. Infusium is really good if you've got high porosity relaxed hair, and it could be good as a leave-in if you've got high porosity natural hair. But I would not suggest Infusium 23 for someone who has low porosity hair. See, look how many of us have it. Like, this information was like just all throughout YouTube. Like, it was just there. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, I know most of us are, but if you're not subscribed yet, shameless plug, definitely join the Curlfriend crew so you never miss any more lives like this. We go live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't smashed the subscribe button yet, definitely do it now or do it after the live, which will, I don't know when that will be. It'll be soon, I think. We'll see. Bedtime is coming up. But okay, so PSR had it, Pretty Brownie One had it, Kamira had it, the Infusium 22. See, a bunch of us had this product. And, you know, if you had fine hair with low porosity strands, it really wasn't a very good product, right? Laya Shanta, your hair has come a long way, girl, and that's wonderful. Thank you, girl. It has. Really starting to educate myself about this has been really fantastic. Is I can't pronounce her name. XAL1234. Shout out to Fine FNHR. Thank you for joining. Kamira Jules. Yep, I learned that too when I was transitioning. Tips to roots. Always tips to roots. Any detangling and styling, any comb in your hair. Period. Comb, brush, fingers, anything. If you're handling your hair, you're handling it from tips all the way up very slowly to your roots. Okay, so Nora Ray, I used it when I had a relaxer, but can't use it on my natural hair. Infusium 23, you guys, do me a favor. If you have a bottle of that, throw it out. Like, it's not going to help you. Like, it's too much protein for natural strands, fine strands. It's just way too much. Give it away to someone who has a relaxer, but do not put that on your hair. You really want to focus on moisture. If you don't know your porosity level, you're safer to focus on moisture before you start focusing on protein, because protein can go left. And by left, I mean badly, really quickly. And I learned that the hard way over the course of like 5 or 6 years. So don't be a Lavinia. be empowered, be smarter, be a better version of me, and avoid that. Just avoid it. Gail Tully, I treat my wigs better than my hair. Yeah, that's exactly who I used to be. Definitely used to treat my my wigs so much better. Xandra, shout outs to Fine Natural Hair Rocks. You guys, if you're in here, definitely check each other out. You know, Xandra has a page, Kamira Jules has a page. Nora, I don't know if you have a page as well too. If you do, whoever has a page, I think Laya Shanta might have a page as well too. So yeah, Leah, if I'm pronouncing your name sorry wrong, I'm so sorry, girl. I'm trying. I'm trying over here, but check each other out. Check each other out. So PSR 076, used it when I was relaxed. Xandra, wow, wig's better than the hair. Never heard of it, girl. Girl, it's more common than you think, eh? Like I was that person who would go ahead and treat my hair like horribly and treat my wig so nicely. Like it's terrible to be a slave to these things. I was a slave to it. It's terrible. And it's awful. Is that just, and the pink lotion? Pink lotion, again, these are all products that have ingredients that, they have parabens, they have silicones, they have chemicals that have no business on our body. Like relaxers can damage your brain. Like, what was I thinking? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, so we gotta be so careful, you guys. So careful. I think they still sell Infusium, Chimera. I really think they still selling Infusium. Love yourself. Yes, they brought back pink lotion line. Yeah, they can keep their pink lotion because I'm not putting that in my hair. Like the more healthier the ingredients is, the healthier your hair will be. So that's one of the things that I've learned as of recently, that I'm sharing with you guys, is like, as of the last 2-3 years, I've leaned in to products that are, number one, Black owned, because I do feel that Black, like if you are Black, you will know what works for Black hair. We barely understand it ourselves. How could somebody outside of our community understand that? Like, it's just not logical, right? So I started leaning into Black owned businesses. So one of the product lines that really changed my hair, and I'm not an ambassador for them, but I should because I big them up this often, is Oyen Handmade. And then another company is made by a fellow lawyer. Her name is Christia Donaldson, I think. Anyways, she's more popularly known as T-Gin. So that's, thank God it's natural. That's another product. And then my girl Monique Rodriguez from My Yellow Organics. Like between those three companies, they really focus on natural ingredients. They really focus on like the health of your hair, and a lot of the proceeds go right back into the Black community. Those are the kinds of companies that I've been focusing on. And ever since then, guys, like I kid you not, focusing on, using products from my community, from women that look like me, have hair like me, understand me, has really led to my hair just thriving. Like to this day, I wash my hair once a week. I kid you not, I am not even exaggerating. I can see a difference in my hair almost like every week to every other week. Like I can feel it growing down. It's madness. It really is madness. Once you get it, you truly do. Once you fall into the right regimen, and I can help you with that, based on your porosity level and your density and your curl pattern, you can really start to see the length in your hair a lot faster, as opposed to waiting for 12 years like moi. So, or me in English, sorry guys. I'm slipping into French, franglais, with a horrible accent at that. Okay, so pink lotion I used once but didn't like the texture. Yeah, and like anything with dyes in it, like dyes are not going to do anything for your hair. Like it's literally a chemical. It could be an irritant. Like there's no reason why the lotion needs to be pink. Like why? What does that add to it? Nothing. Come here, Jules. I have a natural hair playlist. Oh yes, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, Infusium 23 is still sold local pharmacy, some dollar stores. Dollar store? I didn't know that they had that at the dollar store. I've never seen it. No, I'm lying. I did see Infusium. I think I saw like a shampoo or conditioner for Infusium 23 at the dollar store. That's crazy. Kamir does have very pretty hair. Preach. Thank you, Xandra. Pink lotion is like putting lotion on your hair. Pretty Brownie one, Up North Naturals. Yes! Up North Naturals gives a bomb braid, not braid out, a bomb wash and go. Yes, and she's fantastic. Lisa is her name, right? I think Lisa's her name. She's very, very nice. Tammy Moore, me too. It's crazy once you have a regimen, your hair flourishes. Exactly. Like, it's absolutely madness. There was no need for all of this struggling. Had this information been available, I would not be the little girl who didn't think she was pretty. I would not be the teenager who needed weave and braids, even though it was causing like fried and not dyed. I've never dyed my hair, but fried little pieces of hair. Like none of that had to happen with this information. Like natural hair is not difficult to take care of. It's just misunderstood. Literally. Like I would never say my hair is difficult to take care of. It's not. once you know how to deal with your hair, it's actually very, very easy. I do the same thing every single time, and I get pretty much the same results every single time. I mean, I am a product junkie, so different products perform different ways. But once you find what works for you, girlfriend, like it's gonna work. Like deep conditioning, whether for you that's twice a week or once a week, for me it's once a week. I know that that's gonna do something good for me. Steaming my hair is a low porosity girl. If you've got low porosity hair, a steamer is your best friend. You need something to open your cuticles. If you are a high porosity girl, you need oils. You need something to close the cuticle because the cuticle is just gonna stay wide open, letting all of the good moisture out. So natural hair is not difficult. It's just misunderstood. And, being an anti-Black racism lawyer, this is very much in line with all of the other discrimination, marginalization, struggles that us as Black people deal with. We are literally the last people to be understood. And so we have to work to understand ourselves. And I am so proud of our natural hair community that we've literally taken the rungs back. We've taken the strings back, the steering wheel back, and we really do understand our hair more. And we are evolving. And the fact that we're even having a conversation, 14 people strong, about a subset, not even natural hair, you guys, a subset of natural hair is absolutely amazing. Like I can't even tell you how proud I am of our community for using the first opportunity to share information with each other like that. Like literally this information has been circulating from since like 2008, 2007. And we are now in 2020 and it's just getting stronger. Like it's absolutely fantastic. So Pretty Brownie One natural hair is beautiful and versatile. It is. If I had known I had this on my head when I was a little youngin', if my family members had known, and they're kind of turning around to it now too. So a lot of my aunts, a lot of my cousins, everybody's kind of turning around to like, well, you figured it out. So what do I need to do? And I'm always happy to help. Like I'm not coming from a place of like, well, you didn't tell me and no. Always a place of love, always a place of caring, always a place of understanding and trying to figure out like together, this is what worked for me. I think that this could work for you. Or this is what I understand about the kind of hair that you have. And this is what I think might work. So Zandra, every week it's going to work and not everyone needs to wash every week. Exactly. And that was the problem with, sometimes too much information is not good information. And that's one of the differences with Fine Natural Hair Rocks. It's very focused on you, which is why it took a really long time to share my personal journey because to be honest with you guys, I didn't really feel like there was anything that I could say about me that would help you guys, except to give the information. But then I realized that it was starting to look like, a faceless brand. Like, who the hell is this girl, right? So I wanted to come in here and connect with you guys a little bit better. But I do have an understanding of natural hair, fine hair, and the different porosity levels and what that might mean for different fine-haired folks. So whether you're a 4A, that's another thing. Like a huge piece of confusion is like thinking that your hair care regimen has to match your hair type. That is so far from the truth. In fact, it really doesn't matter what curl pattern you have. If you've got low porosity 3C curls or you've got low porosity 4C curls, the point of the matter is you still need heat to open your cuticles and you still need a certain way to allow the moisture to stay in your cuticles. You might be able to detangle your hair differently as a 3C natural versus a 4C natural, but other than that, the differences kind of starting in there. So yeah, guys, I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes straight, you guys. Thank you so much for being in here and for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Xandra says, I've researched a lot, girl. So many hours. Oh my goodness. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of hours between 12 years ago till now. I'm right there with you, Xandra. So many hours, so many conversations, so many tears, so much frustration. Finally there's a light, right? Finally, there's a light. Xandra, your watch time will shoot up. That would be nice to be able to monetize Fine Natural Hair Rocks. That'd be really nice. And then, pour even more energy into this because I absolutely love this topic. And I know you guys love this topic too. So I want to stay alive in the YouTube hemisphere. So yeah, I'm gonna try everything I can to keep Find Natural Hair Rocks running as much as possible. I do work full time as well as running Find Natural Hair Rocks. All the editing, all the content, all the advertising, the Instagram, the branding, everything has been done by me. And so it's a lot of work, but it's very, very, very rewarding to see that the information that I've gathered over 12 plus years is helping you guys. So love yourself, we rock, period. Yes, we do rock. We do. We do, we do, we do. Pretty Brownie One, thank you for sharing your natural hair story. Oh, you're welcome. Naturally Xandra, thank you for sharing your hair story, girl. It is inspiring. You guys are so welcome, and thank you for giving me this platform and listening to me pour my heart into you guys. This was really hard. I'm not really somebody who talks about my hair journey like this. I'm usually about helping other people, but not necessarily, you know, talking about me. So I really do appreciate your time tonight. And I promise, I'm telling you guys right now, I mean, there's some other content coming out. On Friday what's on Friday? There's a video that I created. Oh, it's a Baskin Bloom review. So there's a Baskin Bloom review coming out for you guys on a deep conditioner review on Friday. And then, you know, there's some other stuff coming out following that, but I will be putting together my journey in a more cohesive way with pictures to go with it as well too. Jazzy, I enjoy your life. Thank you, boo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Curlfriend crew. Love yourself. We appreciate you. Good night, everyone. Blessing and stay safe. Yes, stay safe. Stay the 2 feet or 6 feet away from anybody who's coughing and has germs. Be safe, you guys. Be safe. Nora Ray, thank you for sharing. Gail Tolly, so you have many jobs. Yes, thanks for sharing. You're beautiful. Thank you, Gail. I know you are beautiful as well too. You are so beautiful. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Laya Shanta, you did help us by sharing your hair story. Thank you. That makes me very, very happy to hear that. I appreciate you. Kamira, this was a great live. Thank you for sharing. Have a wonderful night, ladies. Yes, have a wonderful night. Sleep well, drink up the water, you know, massage those scalps. And, you know, keep it locked on Find Natural Hair Rocks for some more information, because I'm about to serve you guys as much as I possibly can. I love you, Curlfriend crew. Bye.